I could tell you right now, one thing I didn't think about whenever doing this lowering kit was ordering new ball joints. Control arms look good. The bushings are decent. They're not shot yet. The shocks were actually, this shock anyways, was still good. It still has pressure. You push down on it, has a lot of dampening, and then whenever you push down on it, it comes back up. So it still has a charge to it. It needs to be cleaned up, like seriously. The ball joints I should have got, and I think I'm going to go ahead and order them, because this top one is just overly greasy. Right here, I'd say that the boot is blown out, and all the grease and stuff just it's caked on there. Like, I got it on everything. Our bearings are good. They're really good. Smooth. Real smooth. And our brake pads are good, and our rotors are good. Thank God. Now, when you get these lowering kits, they're going to ask you, when you go through them, if you have 1-inch rotors or 1.25-inch rotors. They're talking about the thickness of your rotor. You want to measure that. I had like 1.2. So I'm thinking these were maybe turned once or something. Because, I mean, it's closer to 1.25 than it is 1 inch. So everything looks like it's going to be right on these new hubs I got. I got to get the sway bar link off or loose, and then I think I might have to loosen the big bolts there that hold that control arm in, or that hold it tight anyways, so that it can flop down. Then I should be able to take the spring out. We're going to put the new shock, the new hub, and new spring in, and then the front end, well, at least this side will be done. I'll do the other side off camera, and then we need to do the actual flip in the back. I'm not doing the C-notch in this video. I just want to get this thing lower. Now, you can do a 6-inch drop on the back without C-notching the frame, but then you don't have any travel. But I'm going to do that, and it'll get it closer. The axle will be closer to the frame, and I'll see where it's going to be sitting. So then whenever I do go to do the C-notch, I'll make sure that I'll know for sure that I have it in the right spot whenever I cut the frame. Because you only get one chance to cut that frame. You want to cut it right the first time. I also got a couple studs, so the broken off one on the driver's side, we'll get that taken care of, and then I'll get the rim bolted on too after we get it lowered down. So the front's going to be dropped first, then we're going 6 inches in the back because we got to drop it low. Yeah! Just had the Infinity, had the alignment done, everything went smooth. I need to take the wheel spacers off for the enhanced inspection, but I still don't have the title yet, so I can't do anything with it right now. Next video, I have a wing that I need to mount on there for a review. Don't know if it's going to be permanent. Also have a foam cannon and another battery pack. So I'm going to do that all in one video. Alright, so a little bit of a pleasant surprise here. These ball joints are actually in good shape, and the reason everything was so greasy is because they've been servicing them. So, you see that? Not loose at all. Bottom one, not loose at all. So they're actually in good shape. Now, I don't know, it looks like the threads are bent on that, but that also might just be the way the taper is on them, that needs to be like that. I think it needs to be turned out. I'm gonna have to look at it again, but yeah, we're ready to throw the new parts in. So I got everything lined up over here. I still need to take this all apart, so I'm gonna do that and then get them on to that hub, and we'll go from there. Now this is even going to settle just a little bit lower than where it's at right now. Reason being, it's where it's at right now is I think maybe might go about another ½ inch down or whatever. But I don't have the sway bar hooked up, but it's still resting on the arm, so it's still putting pressure on it right now because the other side's higher, and it's trying to raise this side up, so it's got pressure on it. Once I unhook the other sway bar, get the other side done, this is going to sink just a little bit more, and then the back is going to go down, way down. But that's a really, really good height, and that's going to look really good once the back's done. So off camera, I'm going to do the other side. I got a wheel stud put in, same stuff. It was a little bit of a pain. The collars that they give you for the shocks, the aluminum collars, now it would be like the same thing that's in this old one here. You see how there's a metal collar inside there. It was too wide, and I struggled trying to get that shock in, and I couldn't do it. And I ended up taking it out, getting that metal bushing out of there. I ground it down a little bit, and I just used my grinder and just held it flat on there. Ground it down just a little bit, enough that it would fit in the mount, and it went in. It just would not go in. It was too big. That's what she said. So I was skeptical at first, as it looked like that taper was different on there, and I think it's just the way the grease is on there. It made it look different. But I was pleasantly surprised. The wheel bearings were in really good shape. They were packed with plenty of grease. I ended up just sticking my finger in there and packing it back in the bearings again, and then put them back together. That shock was the hardest thing to get in, and we got it in, and it's in there now. So, yes, that's cool. I don't think we're going to rub on anything. We got plenty of room in there. On that note, I'm done for the night. These studs that I got at O'Reilly's, it said that they fit, do not fit. The gnarled part is way bigger on these old ones. So I'll just take this with me tomorrow, go to the parts store. I'll go to Advanced Auto and AutoZone and stuff, and see if we can match one up with this. I'm tired, it's late. I thought I was going to get the whole front end done tonight, and nope. I did have a good discovery, though. I have a bunch of old parts over here. They're brand new. I got, and they didn't work, and I just ended up not sending them back. The sway bar bushing on the driver's side was shot. As you can see, it was like pushing out the side. Well, look at this. I think I got these for that M45, and they fit around the bar, and they fit in the clamp. So I'm gonna put new sway bar bushings on both ends. Whenever I put them back on, yeah, the other one's right there. It's not like that one, but it's still not good. So, yeah, two new sway bar bushings. Free. Not really free, but I paid for them a long time ago, and I forget what I paid for them, so free! Found out why the washer bottle was low. Well, this is unfortunate. That stud was a little bit bigger, and not much. So I pressed it in, and I thought all was well. Now I look at the front side. So I guess we're getting a new rotor on this side. Man, that sucks. I can't believe I did that. Look at, yes. Turns out, now after looking at this, I looked at the other side. I didn't have the spring set correctly on this side, so I got to jack this side back up and get that spring seated in correctly. It did drop lower, but that's going to drop about another ½ an inch once I get that spring. The top perch has a small cone in it, and there's a lot of play in there for that spring to move around while it's not in that cone. So I'm going to get it up here, try to pry on it a little bit to set it without having to disassemble this whole side. Dang, this thing is freaking low. Oh, it's lower than I thought. So the back end's going to be just as low. Alright, so a couple pry bars. I had to take the wheel off, but a couple pry bars actually got that spring just set in the perch where it's supposed to be now. Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to roll with inner fender liners or not. I did not think it was going to be this low with 4 and 6 inch drop. But now I'm pretty anxious to get the back one because this thing is going to look mean. And it still has plenty of room. I'm glad I didn't go further because control arms have like a car height distance, and these are pretty long wheelbase, so I'm wondering if this thing's going to scrape over like in my driveway and stuff, certain angles, slopes and stuff. But I want to get this rear axle flip done today. Now, we are not doing the C-notch today. I did discuss that. We're going to do that at a later date. These are shock extenders, so this will mount in where the original shock went, and then these will go in. As for everything else, this is a different kit. I ordered these. That's what the axle is going to sit on top of the springs. That's actually going to lower it even more because the way the kit was that I got, you had these and you set it in that. Now, I don't know. They're totally different, so I don't know. Maybe these ones won't work, but it was not that expensive, and I wanted U-bolts, so this kit that I ordered came with these heavy-duty U-bolts here for the drop. So, anyways, let's get this thing jacked. I don't know how good my camera angles are going to be, because we're doing this on the floor. Got an engine right against the bumper here. I might have to pull this thing forward a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to pull this thing forward to give me a little bit more room, because I'm thinking I'm going to drop the springs so that we can get the axle on top. And, yeah, it's going to be fun, because you got brake lines, you got the drive shaft, you got all kinds of stuff here. Best bet's going to be to disconnect the drive shaft to do this. But I don't know. We might be able to do it with... If we just took the springs out and then put them underneath it, and put it back up, that actually, I think that's the easiest way from what I'm seeing. So take the U-bolts out, take the leaf spring bolts out. Hopefully we can get to that back one. We'll just drop the springs underneath and then put it back up. That's definitely going to be the easiest way. Then we don't even have to disconnect the drive shaft. We don't have to, but we're going to have to support the axle, but besides that, I think it's just going to be our better option. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so what I did off camera was I got a work light. Ta-da! Now, I took the wheels off, jacked the body up, or the frame, and put jack stands under that. Then I jacked the axle up just a little bit to get the wheels off the ground, and I put jack stands underneath that. Now, we're going to take the shocks off, get those removed and gone, and we're going to take the U-bolts out, and then we're going to take the mounts for the leaf springs out. Then once we get that get the leaf springs off. We can set them on the ground underneath these, and then we can take those jacks out, put the jack underneath the rear bumper, and lower the body down until the leaf springs are lined up, or until we can get them started, and then we'll bring them up underneath the axle and put our new mounts on and everything. So yeah, there's a lot to go on here, but there's a lot less you have to do. Oh, another thing I need to do is remove those bump stops, because we are not going to clear those. Look how much room there is. So right here's where the leaf springs are now. Right there's the bump stop. If the axle is right here, yeah. So really, you need to C-notch if you're going this low. There's really no way around it. People have done it. They just take these bump stops off, but you're still going to hit the frame. And that's the crappy part about this. So that's why you need to C-notch the frame there. And there's brake lines that run through there. All kinds of good stuff. But once we get the axle in there, then we'll definitely be able to see where center's at to mark for the C-notch. We're going to get those off there anyways right now. So a little bit of weight reduction. We removed the spare tire carrier because it was not being utilized. Plus, that's going to hang down a good bit. So we just eliminated that. The frame, the only spots that were really getting rusty were right where those bump stops were. And if you look up there where that bump stop was, you can see it. It was paper thin. It broke. That's just where the bump stop is. And that section is getting cut out whenever we do the C-notch kit. So this is a good thing that we were doing this, because it actually needed that. So as you can see, the frame is good underneath. There's surface rust, but for the most part it's good. Even the underside of the bed is actually in good shape. So I sprayed all the bolts down that hold the leaf springs and the shocks and all that in there. So I sprayed them down with penetrating oil before I even started all this. So next thing we need to do is take the shocks off, and then I think we'll unbolt the leaves, and then we'll get the U-bolts. I don't know if they're going to come off. We might have to cut them off, but that's no big deal because we have new ones to put in there. I didn't want to reuse the old ones. That's why I went with this kit with new ones. Alright, so I have one side about done. I just cut the U-bolts, and as you can see, got the leaf spring laying under. Right there is the mount that holds the axle, so you get the idea. Then there is a bottom plate right there that goes under the leaf springs. Now where that sits, I painted that with rust reformer, and I ground all the rust off and surface rust and stuff, and then painted it with rust reformer. I did the same thing with the bottom of the leaves. So cleaned it all up. The bushings are actually really good in it, so we're just gonna roll with them. But I need to get the other side done right now. I have the body jacked up with my jack. I still have jack stands underneath it, but I have it jacked up right there because they're about as high as they can go. If you have new U-bolts, just cut them. They're a lot easier to do that way. as you can see, now it's time for the fun to begin, because it's time for reassembly. I might not finish this tonight, but I am going to get the leaf springs in. Might not put the shocks on tonight. I'll get it in the morning. It'll be on this video, but yeah. And here I am with my, what do I do with these things? What are these? You can see I got the driver's side leaf spring hung on one side. I got to get this one. I was cleaning up certain areas on it, putting rust reformer where the mounts are going to be, because you won't be able to access them once it's together. These mounts have holes in them that fit over the bolt holes. I think we're going to use the far one. I don't know if it's forward or backwards, but I know the ones that came with my kit had the hole in them and it was offset. So as you can see, it sits on top of the leaf spring. I'm going to need to get this leaf spring in, and then we're going to start lowering the truck down and seeing where everything lines up. Hopefully get this all lined up good, and it's going to go easy. I mean, yeah, simple, right? It's going to be fun, simple. Oh, I don't know. So my battery's almost done for the night, but you have to put these shock mounts on, the extended shock mounts, before you put the U-bolts in. I didn't start it, but I realized I wasn't going to get that bolt tight, because after you put the plate up and you put the U-bolt down through there, it's right in the way. So put your extended shock mounts on first. These are nice. I'm glad I bought this kit. That lines it up. The axle falls right into place. They fit up in here tight and line it up and everything. It's pretty sweet. It just falls right into place. They fit in there snug. So I'm glad I bought that. That was on eBay for like 65 bucks. The axle flip kit wasn't what came. Now these extended shock mounts, that came with my axle flip kit, and so did the shocks. So, you know, do your own thing, whatever you're going to do, but these are some of the things you got to think of whenever you're doing this. Alright, I haven't seen it yet. I just put the wheels back on. Everything is in. I didn't, the shocks are hanging. I didn't put them on the bottom mounts. I'll get to those. I didn't tighten up any of the leaf spring bolts. They're just in. I got to leave them loose anyways, because then you got to get it down to ride height and tighten them up there so it doesn't wear your bushings out. But the wheels are on, they're torqued. Let's see what this thing does. I'm going to set the camera here. Look how low the front is right now anyways, with all that weight on there. I think it's touching the wheel well. I could be wrong. Meantime, holy crap! Oh my god! Wow, this thing's way lower than I expected it to be, but it looks good. Holy crap! Wow! I'm sorry, I'm in disbelief. Like, that is way lower than I expected. Oh my god, we got like 5 to 6 inches of clearance from the exhaust, maybe? I don't even know if we have that much. Yeah, we probably do. 5, 6 inches of clearance. Wow, that's way lower than I thought. The shocks might raise the back a little bit, but I don't know. Alright, so let me I'm gonna add a little bit more to this video. After I get this All the bolts tighten up. I got to put the sway bar bushings and mounts in the front. Bunch of little things here. After I do that, maybe we'll take this out for a little drive. I want to see if it scrapes or anything. But I just want to see. I just want to see how it rides with this suspension on. Actually, let me see how much room we have in the back. All right, so I don't know if it's gonna show up on camera, but we got like maybe 2 to 3. I'd say 3 inches from the frame to the axle. That's why you C-notch these. But it's still drivable the way it is. So I don't know. Okay, so as it sits now, depending on how much the rear shocks help, might drive this tomorrow, might not. I can jump up and down on the rear bumper and make the axle hit the frame, and I don't want to do that while I'm driving. So if the shocks help enough that I can jump up and down on the rear bumper and not hit the frame, then I'll take it for a short jaunt around the block. I don't have to go to Mexico in this because this is legal. So first of all, I had to chop the fenders so they'd clear, and I can't cut the wheel very sharp because the tires rub. And these are brand new tires and I don't feel like ruining them. So I'm driving easy. If you go straight or you don't turn very sharp, it's fine, but it definitely hits the inner fender lining and there's gonna have to be modifications made there. I'm thinking about maybe getting trailer fenders. Well, it rubbed right there, rubbing right there. Yeah, these are pretty good bumps. I'm gonna go out the road and we're just gonna take it easy, but I can't really go too extreme with this. So it sucks, but this is part of modifying. This is modified life right here. And I'm just listening for noises and anything that I can to see if there's anything that's gonna keep this from being drivable. So what I learned on my journey today is that my inner fender liners have to go. I'm rubbing in multiple places. Thankfully, it was no sharp edges. It's just rubbing on the flat edge. I can see marks there, just the top of the tires rubbing. It's kind of like automatic braking. If you drive it easy, it don't rub. If you cut the wheel, it rubs. So lots of modifying of the inner fender needs to happen so that this thing's good for driving. And then my exhaust, something whenever I give it gas is tinging. It's on this pipe over here. I can hear it. So I don't know if I pushed it up on something or not, but it actually runs and it drives really good. It actually no vibrations, which was a surprise to me. And I do know whenever I was underneath it, the carrier bearing on the drive shaft is bad on this. There's a lot of slop in that, so that's something we got to address eventually. But yeah, I think it looks good. Even we'll just leave it like this. It's the patina look. But I got a garage to clean up, and I have another video. I need a video today, and it's already late in the day because I spent most of my day on this. But I had fun, and this thing is looking awesome. I'm hyped now that I see it low. I like it a lot. But let me get my garage cleaned up and cars put away, and we'll end this video. So if you like this video, smash that like button, consider subscribing. Hit that dislike button if your mom's about that low life. And we'll see you on the next episode of Unwrapped.
What are you doing? Huh? You drinking some Wawa? Come here. We gotta go find your brother. Where's your brother at? What are you doing sitting in my seat? Better move that butt. Hey.